Well. Let's see what the Cowboys are up to. Hi, folks, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the D-Bell Sports Podcast. I'm your host, David Bell, and today we're going to talk about the current state of affairs of the Dallas Cowboys. We're hiring all these coaches now. Brian Schottenheimer's officially the head coach, so let's dive into it. I know what people are saying. Is this a clown show, a reality show, or is this a real effort to get a Super Bowl ring? So, let's start with Brian Schottenheimer. Jerry Jones said it's what's in the best interest of the quarterback, this hiring. So Jerry thinks this will help out Dak. Brian's been the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys the last 2 seasons. He did not call the plays, and he was helping Cooper Rush, not Dak, towards the second half of the season when Dak was hurt. So that's something to consider. Dak was 3-5 for this year. So he's a good coordinator when CeeDee Lamb balls out in 23, when Jake Ferguson, has a good year, and when Tony Pollard's here, does he get credit for that good season? Does Mike McCarthy get credit for calling the play since he was the play caller? If he does get credit, does he get any blame for the for that playoff game against the Packers when we just fell apart, or do we just blame Dan Quinn on the defensive side for that one? So, I don't know. There's some questions we need to ask, and we need to seriously evaluate what's going on with the Cowboys. But love it or hate it, it's not top tier. It's not Andy Reid level or Kyle Shanahan, who are geniuses in football, and have been to multiple Super Bowls over the last 5 years and all that stuff. But it's not Matt Eberflus, head coach, bad. We'll talk about him in a second because he's our new DC. And it's not Josh McDaniels head coach bad or anything like that. It's just, it feels, so it kind of feels kind of bland, like it's fine. People didn't want to kill him more, fine. So we'll go and we'll see what Schottenheimer can do. On the other hand, he's worked with Dak, and Cooper Rush isn't going to get us deep in the playoffs. So Dak is really it at quarterback. He's our best and only option right now to go far into the playoffs. So maybe he can assert his influence on the draft, the offense, the team culture, of winning to try to get us back on track. We need to win a divisional round in the playoffs. A divisional round. We have not done that in quite some time. Over the past 25 years, we've had 4 wins in the playoffs. They've all been in the wild card round, and we always fall short in the divisional round. So 2 wins for Tony Romo at quarterback, 2 wins for Dak, and that's pretty much what it is in that time. Let's see what Brian Schottenheimer can do. And there is a lot to do. So right now my grade is B-. Obviously we didn't really look into many other coaching prospects, but we'll have to see what happens. During the year he could surprise us, and I'll talk about him a little bit too. Done with that page. Yeah, Al Harris is leaving. You can't grade someone who's not there, but this is an F for me. He's going to the Bears. He's going to be the defensive backs coach and defensive pass game coordinator. This is clearly not what I wanted, given the fact that I made a whole video about wanting him to be the defensive coordinator. We made him an assistant head coach. I was ready to put a whole poster, a campaign-style poster, Al Harris for DC, and to try to promote him, but this is very sad. He's a beloved coach, coaching cornerbacks like Deron Bland and Trevon Diggs, doing a great job. I thought he could be, when Mike McCarthy left, he could be a potential, a head coach. He could have interviewed for the job, but they didn't even consider it. But Ben Johnson recognized his talent and snagged him up away from us. And actually, he was on the same staff as Ben Johnson with the Dolphins in 2012. Harris was a coaching intern, and Johnson was an offensive assistant. And that was his first NFL experience, because before that he had been coaching at Boston College. So this was both their first NFL experiences. Ben Johnson is about 12 years younger. But Al Harris, of course, was a cornerback in the NFL, so he had that playing experience and then went into coaching, and Ben Johnson pretty much went into coaching right away. But yeah, this is a complete failure by the organization not to try to keep him. I don't know. Coaches come and go, but this one really hurts. Of course, as stated, I wanted him to be the DC. At least be considered. At least stay. Give him more money. Give him something. But I don't know. It just hurts. Now, Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus was hired as our new defensive coordinator. He is a known commodity. Actually, he was the linebackers coach from 2011 to 2017, and along with those responsibilities, the passing game coordinator in 16 and 17. He was the defensive coordinator at Missouri from 01 to 08, and the defensive coordinator for the Colts 18 to 21. And as a head coach, of course, complete failure. People make fun of him all the time. As a coach of the Bears, record 14-32, multiple losing streaks, including 6 games this last season. One score games record 5-19. I mean, that's horrible. But maybe he can be a good defensive coordinator. He was a defensive coordinator with the Colts when they made the playoffs twice. Their defense did improve. So let's see what happens. My grade's a B, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it could be a B plus. Maybe this will be a great hire for us, and he can just go back to coaching. Just go back to being a coordinator. And maybe that's what's best for him, because many head coaches go from coordinator to head coach and their tenure does not last long, and they go back to coordinator and they're much happier and they help the team improve. So maybe that's good for him. But I hate that Al Harris is leaving. I hate that so much. All right, so we did hire some more coaches. Nick Sorensen is going to be our special teams coordinator. He was actually the defensive coordinator for the 49ers last year. So we snagged a 49ers coach. That's good. We might see the 49ers in the playoffs. I don't know. They had a down year. But they made the Super Bowl. Then they didn't even go to the playoffs. So maybe they'll be back in the Super Bowl next year. I don't know. He was also an assistant in 22. So yeah, he has some, for the 49ers, he has some experience with the 49ers. Let's see. Andre Curtis, safeties coach for the Bears, 22-24. So this is someone Matt Eberflus knows. He's going to be our defensive pass coordinator. Okay. And these guys are kind of young too. Nick Sorensen is 46. Andre Curtis is 48. So that's interesting too. Different perspective. It's always a good thing. But a little more about Andre Curtis though. He's been coaching in the NFL since 2006. He went to the Virginia Military Institute, and that's also where he started coaching. And he also coached at Georgia Southern. He started with the Giants in the NFL in 2006 as the defensive quality coach. So lots of NFL experience. It's good. Aaron Whitecotton is going to be our defensive line coach. He's with the Jets the last 4 seasons. He developed players like Will McDonald, who had 10.5 sacks this year, and Bryce Huff, who's with the Jets in the last year, the 23 season, and got 10 sacks. The year before, he got 3.5 sacks, and then the 2 years before that, he only got 2. So interesting. Dave Borgonzi is going to be our linebackers coach. He was actually with the Cowboys 2011 to 2013. He was a defensive assistant, and then in 2013 he was an offensive assistant. So very interesting. And he was with the Bears last 3 seasons coaching the linebackers. So it's good that we're putting a team together now. That's good. We have some former coaches, former Cowboys coming back. That's interesting. New faces, younger faces, getting a different perspective. That's always a good thing. Now, big news is that Will McClay is coming back. He agreed to a multi-year contract extension. He's great. He's had some good press the past few years, but it's kind of complicated. I mean, when something good happens, like in the draft, we always say it's Will McClay, and something bad happens, we all throw Jerry Jones under the bus. So I don't know. Is he making the decisions? Is Jerry? It can be a little tedious to keep hearing all these things, but I think he's generally done a good job. I think he's generally involved within the organization. At the Senior Bowl, he said he was part of the head coaching process. He's been brought into many things like that. So it's good that he is involved, and I think he is very involved I think he's generally involved in the draft and helping choose players. He's currently the VP of Player Personnel, so we really need him to stay in his position. He's generally done a good job, and generally we do draft well. Tyler Smith was a better prospect than I thought he would be. DeMarvion Overshown, despite his injuries, played great this year. Rico Dowdle went undrafted in 2020. He was a great pickup since he was our first undrafted guy to get 1,000 yards. Tyler Garden, jury's out on him. He's been racking up penalties left and right, so maybe if we can coach him up a little bit, he'll get better and he'll be a great. He'll be looked upon more as a better first round prospect. Jake Ferguson was the 4th round pick in 22. He had his best season in 23. Had a down year. He's had some injuries, but he hasn't been terrible. So that's always good. I think he's definitely going to have room to improve to get back to that 23 performance and beyond this year in 25. So looking out for that too. Now some of these might seem like boring hires, and maybe some good hires as well. We'll have to reserve judgment because some of these coaches have coached up some really good players. I think people are with Brian Schottenheimer. They're like, whatever, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll tune in, maybe I don't. But if we make it to the playoffs, we have a tougher division. So if we make it to the playoffs, I think people's ears will start to perk up. People will start to see, like, oh, what can we do? And if we win that division game, specifically if we win that divisional round game in the playoffs for the 25 season, then people will start to say, oh my gosh, well, maybe I was wrong about Brian Schottenheimer. Let's go, guys. We haven't done that in decades, literally decades. So I think people would be excited. Maybe a low bar at first, but if we make the playoffs, like, that pressure's on immediately because we have to get past the divisional round. Because if we were that close, in the past few years, minus 2024, when Dak got hurt and we were struggling to begin with, and we didn't have a running back, and all this stuff happened. If we're that close for many years, and we're going into playoffs, then if we go in and we win that divisional game, people will look at him a little bit differently, a lot differently. And they'll be like, oh, I believed in him the entire time. Yeah, right. But yeah, if he's able to implement his vision and it works, then let's get it. Let's go. But yeah, he wants to improve the run game, which would take pressure off Dak. Great. We did not have a running back in 2024. Rico Dowdle was hitting his stride. He was getting over 100 yards later in games. His best game was 149 yards. But that was later. He wasn't hitting that. He was getting 30, 40 yards to begin with. So, hey, put him in as a backup, draft a running back. We're at the 12th slot in the draft. Then let's get it. Let's go. And also, hopefully we can improve our O-line a little bit. If Zach Martin retires, we might need to replace him. It'll be very sad, but we'll need to figure that out really, really quickly. Maybe get 1 or 2 more weapons for Dak so we can have another receiver and take some pressure off CeeDee Lamb so CeeDee Lamb does not get double teamed all the time. And that would be great. But overall, I think we'll need to reserve judgment for some of these coaches, some of these players. Hopefully Dak is healthy, fully healthy going into the season, and then we can we can prove our team in the draft and we can just get it going. New head coach. This will be Dak's 3rd head coach. He knows him. He's been on with the team for 3 seasons now, 2 as offense coordinator. So, hey, it looks like our coaching staff is getting it together. So let's go. Let's go. I'll be very excited if we hit on some draft picks. Everyone wants a running back. Every Cowboys fan wants a running back. And I think that's what we're going to get because we need it. They want it because we literally need it. No more Zeke and no more Tony Pollard who went to the Titans. He was with the Titans last year. So we definitely need a running back. And we're just going to get really excited for the draft if we draft well. And then we're going to go in the training camp. I think a little more excited. So now a little more bit of a malaise. But as the draft comes in, we have a strong draft. We'll get more excited. And then we'll actually see Brian Schottenheimer's vision implemented. And all these things start to be implemented. And hopefully we can have a great season. But thank you to all my subscribers out there. Thank you to my Patreon members. Super Bowl is coming up, guys. It's going to be a good one. Hopefully. It's a repeat, so people aren't as excited about it. And it's my division rival, the Eagles, going up against the Chiefs. So we'll see what happens. If the Eagles win, another division rival gets a Super Bowl ring. and it makes the Cowboys look worse. Of course, everything good our division rivals do makes us look bad if we're not, as equally good. But hopefully we can do some good things in 25. I'm not saying Super Bowl. I'm not one of those fans. The goal is to win that divisional round game, and hopefully we can get it. So, I don't know if I'm looking forward to stuff, but I want to see the changes being implemented. I'm not going to be hopeful until I see those changes. I'm going to reserve some judgment. I want to be hopeful, but you got to show me what you got, Cowboys. So let's go get it. It's going to be a fun season. I think it's going to be a better season than 24, certainly. But certainly looking forward to it. Thank you so much. Be sure to like and subscribe and share this video so I can spread the word about the Cowboys to the entire world. But thank you guys so much. And of course, go Cowboys.